Hello guys, my name is Sydney Cross and today I'm going to be talking about the benefits of playing video games. I do believe that video games should be encouraged amongst our youth and even adults because it can improve certain skills that we use in everyday life, like attention span, hand-eye coordination, and even our learning skills. So everybody has encountered video games in their lifetime, whether or not it's on your portable device like your cell phone or an Xbox, PlayStation, Wii, to even a computer or even at an arcade game. So if you are a non-believer that video games don't improve our skills, ask if you could stick around so I could try and persuade you differently. First, video games can improve our attention span. Why is that, you might ask? Well, practicing. Practice makes perfect, right? We've heard about this since we were K through 12. If you practice on the level that you are, if you continue to practice, you will then master the skill. Then you'll be able to move on to the next level and then eventually end up winning the game. Some games seem pointless and mindless, but actually every video game has a lesson to be learned, whether or not it's connecting with your inner creativity or using a different strategy that you never thought that you never would have thought of. Video games require short bursts of attention span. A great example of this is Temple Run. Temple Run is a game where you have to swipe in different directions to be able to jump over obstacles, collect as many coins as you can, and get as far as you can. But there's a kick side. There are killer monkeys behind you trying to kill you as well. So you have to make sure you're not tripping over stuff to be able to get that highest score that everybody wants. Also, studies have shown that video games can actually help improve children who have ADHD. One of the games is Tetris. Tetris is a game where you have different shapes coming from the top of the screen down, and you have to place them in the correct spot to be able to get that straight line. Once you get that straight line dissolves and then allows you to continue to build. But if those boxes and squares and like all that kind of stuff reach the top of the screen, you end up losing. The ultimate goal is to get the highest score. So this actually teaches the children who have ADHD that they have to pay attention into detail to be able to place the shapes in the correct spots. Another study that has been done is neurofeedback therapy. It's where they connect electrodes onto the person's scalp, and the patient is watching a video game, is playing a video game. But if the patient was to turn their attention from the screen, the video game will ultimately stop. So this will eventually teach the patient who has ADHD that focusing on the screen will continue the game, and that's what we all want, right? Next one is hand-eye coordination. Watching our surroundings and having quick reaction time is everything in a game. So if you don't have those two skills, you obviously practice to obtain them. But being able to continue to do this, to be able to multitask, is a great way to enhance your hand-eye coordination skills. You're able to look at multiple different things at one time and be able to perform them successfully. A great example of this is Five Nights at Freddy, which is another game. It's a game where you have to focus on closing the door, making sure a light is on, when it turns off, turning off a radio, turning on a radio. You know, it's all this... you have all different sort of obstacles that you have to go through, like pretty much all at the same time. So it's also great for real life situations. Because let's face it, you have to have good hand-eye coordination when you're having a bad morning and your coffee just is about to fall off the counter. If you can catch that in time, you don't have to clean up a mess, right? So video games are not just for the home. Actually, video games have been brought into the work environment. So surgeons have been playing some video games to be able to exercise, to give them a warm-up, to exercise their minds before actually going into surgery. A study has shown that playing video games can actually can actually help our muscles in our brains actually grow, kind of like if you were going to do curls or something like that. But the great thing about it is that where it's building is our left eye. So our left eye, if you're not in the medical field, actually connects with our hand-eye coordination, which is huge. It really is huge, because if we are able to multitask and be able to improve our hand-eye coordination, we are building that muscle in our brain to be able to do more, pretty much. We'll be like an octopus. Let's see. So NASA even offers simulators to their pilots to be able to monitor their brain activity during flight to see, how they're going to be reacting. There are also surgeries where they have a fake patient and they can go and perform a serious surgery on the patient without making any critical mistakes on a real person. So it's a good way to be able to practice. Video games can also help improve our learning skills, from math, geometry, reading, to even exercising. In Los Angeles, the teachers are actually bringing video games into the classrooms. Why is that, you might ask? Well, they say it teaches other skills that a textbook would not teach, like being able to get along with other students, or to be able to use different strategies, challenging the student to be able to connect to their inner self, to work harder, pretty much. Another school that is using is Atlantic City. They're bringing Wii's into the PE classes. Instead of having students sit out because they don't want to participate in a physical sport, they're actually getting like Dance for the PlayStation into the PE rooms to actually have all of the students to be able to get up and move and get their 60 minutes of exercise. Video games can also improve strategies such as creativity and your strategy in a game. So a good example of this, for instance, is a board game like Connect 4. Connect 4, each opponent has a different way of going about the game. So one person could put it all the way over at the last row while the other person places their chip in the middle of the row. It's all on strategy. Each person, it varies depending on what they would like to do. Good quality games can actually challenge people to pick different alternatives, and it also makes learning fun. I mean, who doesn't like making learning fun?